The next person is an interesting one. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning photojournalist, and he describes the same thing that happened 8 years ago in Ukraine about Filipino War. I want everybody to welcome Kim Komenich. He's gonna come out right here. He's not on stage. He wanna see everything from the first person view.
Good afternoon. I need to see the pictures. You start losing it after a while. You have to remember what you're looking at. Anyway, I was a photographer for the San Francisco Examiner and the Chronicle, and I traveled quite a bit covering various conflicts. I was in Iraq, I was in El Salvador, fall of Soviet Union. Philippines was the one that I'm going to talk about today. And what I would want you to do, I've only got a few minutes to talk to you about compassion fatigue. It's if we watch it every day on the news, we start to lose interest. And one of the things we have to do is we have to keep getting images in people's minds and talking to them. Pick out one thing every day that strikes you and tell a friend, share it, whatever you can do. These pictures are the ones I made in the Philippines at the end of the Marcos regime, the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos. Interestingly enough, in a few hours, the polls will open in Manila, and his son, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., will probably be elected the president of the Philippines. So, anyway, I tried to point out the things about his dictatorship that needed changing. One of them was child labor. This girl was 9 years old, I think, when I took the picture. Next one. But I just loved, going into small towns. This is just a normal school on a normal day, and how humble and how, and as you see from the pictures, the coverage in Ukraine, there's just people wanting to live their lives, and that's what we try to document. Next, please. People living in a cemetery, terrible. Next. Malnutrition. Next. Terrible things, terrible things. You've seen enough pictures from your country. You know what I'm talking about. That was, we'll go for a few more, Sierra. So Ferdinand Marcos in the palace. Next one. Imelda, the wife, very much the public face of that government. Next. But the people rose up. The people, as you know from the Orange Revolution, this happened in the Philippines in 1986. Popular mass action. Unfortunately, what's happening in Ukraine is it's beyond that. I mean, there's just no way to just stand up against a tank. It's very difficult right now. Next, please. So often there was casualties. That'll be enough slides for now. But what I want to leave you with today is the importance of you staying awake and you finding something that strikes you today about Ukraine and passing that on to some friends. That's how we keep this story alive. I just, in closing, I'll just talk. I was interviewed about 2 CNN correspondents who were killed in Ukraine a few weeks ago. And they said, what is it that makes you do this? Go cover somebody else's war. And I just, that's always what it was for me. Can I find the picture that'll make this better? Can I find, just today, there might be, if I keep showing up, there might be a picture that can make a change. And that's what the journalists do, and that's what you can do, just one conversation at a time. Slava Ukraini.